everybody, this is a continuation of the first one. Something happened. I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry. Now, the latter relationship or the last one that I spoke about, where ancestors have a vested interest in their relationship, it is quite very, very, very difficult because you and the lover are going through your own cognitive ideas of what a relationship should be looking like, should be feeling like. You are going through normal day to day kind of things in a relationship where you have your limits, you have things that you can tolerate, you have certain things that you want for yourself and don't include the other partner. You have all of those things. But then the both of you are now under a spiritual umbrella. And when you are under a spiritual umbrella, things become very difficult for you. Why? Because you cannot be of different spirit while you are in one spiritual umbrella. So you will go through this um you are hitting heads, all the time, because all the time you are trying, as two individuals, you are trying to come into sync with each other, and you are trying to be molded into each other's spirit so that you and the partner are of one spirit. And this is why it is quite important for partners, when you go for anything of spirit, you must go together, right? In this particular relationship, it becomes important because the spirit is molding you to be really intertwined. It is not just, oh, you are my type, oh, we are compatible, you are speaking the five languages of love that I'm speaking. No, 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 no. It is never even about our own compatibility anymore. It is about aiming for spiritual compatibility, because our purpose, it is now spiritual. This becomes extra difficult when people who are dating are supposed to be healers. Do, 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 do. Spinning the works. Why? Because if you and I are partners, and I'm a healer and you are also a healer, at some point I need to draw your strength, you need to draw my strength. At some point, all our strengths needs to work for the next person. But I cannot be with you if I don't understand what your powers are, how you get them, how you cultivate them, how you increase on them. What is your prayer tactic? What is your prayer strategy? I, 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 I cannot, right? So now what ancestors will do is to mold you, mold you together. But ancestors will be quite pedantic about how this relationship should go. Now, what do you do in such a case? You parla and you pray and you ask for alignment, because many, many things are not going to make cognitive sense as to why am I still drawn onto this person that irks me so much, that presses my button so much. He will press your button because there's something inside of you that he needs to heal. She will press your button because there is something in you that your ancestors want you to draw attention to. And because it's discomforting, it is not nice. It feels like it's hard work. It has to be hard work because it is spiritual work. But this is one relationship. If you are in one of those relationships, obviously somebody has to tell you. It's not one of those things you're like, this one, this one is very spiritual. I feel it. No, no, no. It's not one of those. It's one of those relationships where spiritual people, spiritual experts have to tell you what is the spiritual intent of this relationship, so that you see it from a bigger picture, and you always draw to that bigger picture, or from that bigger picture. You always draw the guidance and the energy from that bigger picture, right? Sometimes you would find that the people of this person and the people of that person have wronged each other at some point in their lives, and now they are trying to rectify certain things, and then they're doing this work through their own great great grandchildren. So it's always important to understand where you stand in this person's life and why you have been brought together. So we understand, ne? We just do a quick wrap up. There are certain relationships that are ancestrally or spiritually ordained, and they have a spiritual intent, and they have a real meaning. Not that the others don't have a real meaning, but there is your relationships goes beyond spirit, body, mind, and then it has a whole spiritual intent as to why you're having it. Two, there are certain relationships that are just for you and the partner, and you have just called this person so that you can experience yourself in a different way. Your soul experiences called for this nice, tall, dark, and handsome one who smells good, and that is just the kind of relationship. You can work at it if you want it. You can drop it if you don't want it anymore. Ancestors do not have a vested a spiritual idea or spiritual end to why you are having this relationship. And then there are certain relationships that are a just outright no. We are not of one spirit. It is not going to work. You know, not to say it will end up in tears, but let me throw terms that you are familiar with. It will end up in tears. And you find that it will just not work. Sometimes you would find you are getting into a relationship and these people are witches, and your people do not know how to do witchery, right? They are differently gifted. I like to say people are differently gifted. It's very wrong to call people witches. They're just differently gifted. I want us to use the candles. It's such a nice thing that I actually found candles that are mounted together, right? There are people who have said to me, Ntabi, I'm unable to get over my ex. I'm unable to get over this individual. And we've broken up, but they keep on coming back. There are certain relationships that have passed long time ago, but you keep on dreaming of this person, right? You keep on dreaming of this person over and over and over and over again. I kept on having my very, very, very first boyfriend while I was 19, and I keep on dreaming of this person. In every time I'm in a different relationship, I would dream of this person, and tomorrow I would be dumped or I would be dumping, you see. And and I thought, oh, maybe he's the one. I thought, okay. Then I even had to go consult to say, why do I keep on having a recurring dream about this person? This person even went to as far as finding a wife that looks exactly like me. Like there's a person that goes around looking exactly like me, and and this guy, at some point in our lives, came and said, why can't I get you out of my mind? You irritate me. Why can I just not stop loving you this much? And he was very angry with me. And I was equally angry with him. And to all to find out that long time ago, ancestors actually thought that this person might be the one. And then later on, they changed their minds, which they do change their minds, right? So every time you really need to check with your ancestors where they are. Sometimes you would dream of a person and the person would emerge, but it's because your soul experience has wanted this person, or in your soul experience has been with this person before, somewhere in a spiritual realm, and now you are meeting them in the physical realm. And you are getting to think, because I dreamt of them, they are the one. Soul experience. Certain people you need to really detach from your spirit, right? You've had children with them, you've loved them, it has not worked out. And when you're trying to move on to a certain person, they keep on having a resistance, or their spirit is still tied with you. There are certain people who got married and they divorced. When you divorce, it's a physical thing. It is not a spiritual thing. You only have a divorce decree, but your ancestors still recognize you as an item, especially if you had done things correctly. La Tlavisana, you slaughtered, you pathled and introduced each other to each other's ancestors, because it is not always that ancestors recognize divorce or separation. Now, there are certain things that will bind you to other people, and it will work in other people's favor to know that they will always have you. They can go and live their life, but in time will stay there. What? They do certain things to bind you. And no matter what you do, you will never move on from this person, and you will never find another person that can fully commit to you. Such things can be broken with this. I'm going to teach you. You find two white candles. This white candle represents Mary. This white candle represents Joseph. You are Mary if you're a girl. You are Joseph if you're a guy. You know, vice versa. This is what you are going to need. You're going to need two white candles. You are going to need a black thread. I don't have a black one, but I took a dark one is fine. A black thread. This one is blue. Or you can even have a black wool. Ne? That's your prop number two. You are also going to need a piece of paper and a pen. It does not matter what color pen it is. I write with a pink pen. um, and you are going to write the name of the person that you are trying to break up spiritually with. If there's more than one, do each for each person, right? Hopefully, you have not dated too many people, and there's a whole list. Like you now don't need an A5, you need an entire A4. I'm sorry, I'm judging. We live, guys, we live ne. Now you are trying to break up with me, and my name is Ntabisengwe Chana, right? You are trying to break up with me. Yeah, it is Ntabisengwe Chana. You write my name on a piece of paper, right? Because you no longer want any spiritual ties with me. It is over, Ntabi, right? So this is the name of the person that you want to break your connection with. Could be Joseph, somebody. Could be Soli Mahlangu. It could be anybody, right? You write their name. It could be a Precious Mtombeni. You are breaking up with them. And then what do? Have this piece of paper. You light your candles, right? You light your candles. Should I be lighting my good candles, guys? If I say you light your candles and I light them, will you not get it? You will get it, ne? But anyway, let's work, guys. Let's work. Let's do the real work. Let's work. Right? The thread. Maybe I shouldn't have lit my candles before I put on the thread, ne? Ish. Yeah, no. This is where practicality applies. Now, this is the thread that is now currently burning, and it shouldn't be burning. So you have this thread, and then you place this thread around these candles, right? Now you are going to let these candles, then you put the thread all the way down, ne? I can remember you and him are bound, or you and her are bound together spiritually somehow, right? Then you have this piece of paper with his name or with her name, and you say to this person that you are trying to break up with, you say, Ntabisangwachan, you and I had made agreements with each other. You and I loved each other, and we promised each other, and our ancestors could have heard or could have been told about our relationship. And therefore, I need you to move on with your life and to let me to move on with my life. This can even be a person that is late, ne? Yes, some people are haunted by spirits of past lovers, and they are unable to just forget about them and move on. Ne? So it does not necessarily all the time have to be a living person. Even a person that has passed on, you can even break that soul tie with them. Then you say, I release you from my spirit today. I also want you to release me from your spirit. Whatever we promise each other no longer applies. If you and this person have kids together, just say, whatever, the only thing that ties you and my relationship to you is the children, our children. You name the children. Be there, be there for the children, support the children. You have a spiritual responsibility to be a good parent to your children. And I will also do my part. But as to you and I, it is over. I release you. You say whatever. If they were beating you up, you talk about, I forgive you, I release you from the horrible things that you did to me. if they were just abusing you in some way, if they were bewitching you, just say anything that you ever did to get a hold of me and my spirit and my mind, I release you. So at this moment you are saying everything. Then you take this piece of paper and you burn it. Right? I'm just inside the house, so I don't know what I'll do if this whole thing burns out and I'm on camera. But then you burn it, right? Let's just try. You burn it, then it burns up until it finishes, right? Burns up until it finishes, right? And then you leave these candles to burn out for the entire, well, to burn out completely, to melt out. What they need to do is that this thread needs to burn as well as the candles. So if you find that your candle, this one is burning and the other is not burning, just make sure that you manage them. It would mean that the other person is resisting the breakup. So they shouldn't resist. You must manage. Make sure that they burn together, they burn completely, and this thing does not get to a this thread or the wool does not get to be removed, ne? So obviously you will also tie it up until at the stage, ne? And then it will burn out completely. And that is how you break a soul tie. Break a soul tie. Look at the smoke. That's how you break the soul tie. That's how you break up with people. Now people must not keep on being in your system, because it will really derail you, right? We are people. There's a purpose why people come into our lives. People should not stay on for as long as they are no longer serving that purpose that you were brought together for. May the good Lord bless you. Thank you for coming through to the channel. Thank you for your love. Thank you for how you are praying for me. I love you immensely. I love you immensely. And I feel so blessed to be doing this thing. I feel so blessed that you are receiving me in the way that you have. Um, I love you. Go prosper. Go have beautiful, meaningful relationships. Go know, understand what your ancestors want with you, where you stand with regards to relationships, so that if things are no longer serving you well, you must move on. If things are really there and there are ancestral reasons, there are real big strategic spiritual reasons as to why you and this person are together, may you not think of it cognitively. May you always dwell with spirit, and spirit will guide you. When spirit guides, it's very effortless, it's not painful. May the good Lord be with you. I love you. May you go ahead and prosper. Bye bye.